Yeah, so if your child's new, it doesn't matter how old they are. If they're 17 and they've never done narration before, it always starts oral. Now, the older the child is, the faster they're going to pick up and be able to translate their oral narrations into written narrations. So if you're seventh grader, if you're coming from a classical background and they've never narrated, yes, for the rest of the school year, I would only do oral narrations. And then maybe next school year, you could start doing written, oral, that kind of thing. There's no like age where if they've never done this before, they should definitely get that oral narration first. And I just have to tell you all, I have my little braggy mommy moment. So my daughter is a freshman in college and she wanted to take this criminal justice class. I have no idea why, because she's a photography major. But I think she's watched too much NCIS. So she's like, I want to take this criminal justice class. This sounds so interesting. And I'm like, well, it's an upper level course. So you're going to have to like write a bunch of papers and do work that most freshmen aren't doing in their freshman level classes. So anyway, she had a paper that was due. And she called me, of course, at 10:30 at night and said, Mom, what you doing? And I'm like, you have a paper that's due tomorrow, don't you? How did you know? I don't know. You don't usually call me at 10:30 at night. Why are you calling me right before the paper's due? Anyway, and she said, well, yes, it's due in the morning. Can you just read through this paper for me and give me some feedback? Y'all, it was 10 pages long, 10 pages. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's so late. So I'm like, okay, I want to read her paper for her. And it was on Ted Bundy. The point is, I was so proud of her paper, 10 pages, research paper with, in-text citations and works cited page. And we stress about like, do I need this big writing curriculum? And are they going to learn how to do all these papers and things that they're going to need to know for college if we're doing these oral narrations that turn into written narrations, and then in high school teaching them the methods and whatnot. And I had actually taught her MLA, like sourcing. And when you're in high school, I mean, you can learn that stuff in like an hour. It's not like rocket science. But then her paper for that school had to be APA style, which she had never done before. And I'm like, well, how did you learn how to do it? She's like, YouTube, Mom. She's like, I just figured it out, So our kids live in a totally different world than we grew up in, and they can figure things out way easier than we used to be able to do it. So when they need it, they'll find it, is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, I was amazed. This 10-page paper was super awesome. So there's my little mommy brag moment for you.